You just got coconut mauled. I'm just kidding. I want to talk about an anime I just recently finished. It's Mushoku Tensei Season 2. So this video will be split up into a spoiler-free and spoiler section. The spoiler-free section is going to be pretty short. I'm not going to get too much into detail. Just going to run down what the synopsis of the anime is. So this is the spoiler-free section. In Mushoku Tensei Season 2, the main character Rudius, who is a NEET from another life who's been reincarnated. In Season 2, he's almost 2 years older than when he is in Season 1. So he looks older. Rudius is still traveling around with his party with Eris and Ruijerd. And that's the end of the spoiler-free section. I'm too tired to come up with how to make this spoiler-free, so that's it. This is the spoiler section. So if you haven't watched it and you want to watch it without spoilers, come back, watch this after you've finished watching Season 2 or something. Or if you never plan on watching it and you just want to hear me talk, that's fine too. So Season 2 starts out, I think, kind of slow compared to the rest of it. I honestly don't remember much that happens in the beginning, the first 4 episodes, because I do find it kind of nonsensical. It feels like just some insignificant things are happening, so I'll just gloss over that. So Rudius gets a demon eye. We see that Roxy is looking for Rudius, and they just keep barely missing each other, which I find really annoying. I hate it when that sort of trope makes it into storytelling. It's so annoying. And then Rudius gets captured in that beast village, and he's there for 2 episodes, and that whole thing was kind of annoying as well, because it felt like, oh, this whole thing is a misunderstanding. Why are we here? Come on, let's get out of here. And then we get to the good stuff, where Rudius finally finds his father, Paul. So Rudius and Paul have a bad back and forth between each other. Yeah, we know that Paul and Rudius don't exactly get along, because Rudius is, really logical, and Paul makes mistakes, and Rudius calls him out for that. And Paul is having, the worst time of his life, because the magic disaster that destroyed their home and teleported everyone into random parts of the world, and no one knows where anyone's at. Paul only has her daughter, Rudius' sister, with him, and he's been looking ever since the magic disaster, which happened almost 2 years ago. He still hasn't found Rudius' mother or his other sister and the family maid, who obviously is part of the family. And then Rudius tells what he's been doing this past year and a half or so, and Paul takes it as he was just playing around. Very serious matters has been going on, and Rudius has just been taking it easy, not even concerned about what could have happened to his family. And yeah, while that is a little justified, it also isn't. And then we get the scene where Geese, the man of the hour, straightens up Paul and tells him, were you hoping to see a dead-eyed son with parts of him missing? And obviously that straightened him up. It's come on, does it matter if he's had the worst time of his life, or what he's been going through has been relatively not so bad, and that Paul should be happy that his son is doing okay. He's not like dead in a ditch somewhere, and they make up. That was a heartfelt scene. I really liked that. My God, voice crack! And then we get to Roxy's part of the story where she goes back home, and we see why she hates being there is because her people can communicate with each other telepathically, but she never could. So she always felt like an outsider, and that's why she just never wanted to go back home and see her mom and dad, which was sad. And I was like, dang, they really care for you, Roxy. Come on. And then luckily enough, Roxy makes the decision to actually stay the night and spend time with them. And I'm like, oh, thank you, Roxy, thank you. Don't make this so incredibly sad, Jesus. And then we reach the part where Rudius sets off to go find more of his family because they're still missing. And Rudius gets a wake-up call by the man god and gives him a hint at how to save Lilia and Aisha. This is where some really annoying shit happens. It's like Rudius falls into a trap and he can't get out, and he has to, which isn't too big of a deal, obviously, because it's very short-lived. And this part I actually do find kind of funny, and I bet a lot of you weebs will find funny too. And then we get that whole sequence where the other prince just talks about the figures that Rudius made and how perfectly exquisite they are. And then that's how we see how Rudius gets out, obviously, because the prince threatens the other prince to let him out because he just absolutely loves Rudius's work. And then we get to the part where Lilia and Rudius finally talk to each other after so long, and Rudius saving Lilia and Aisha. I really like that scene. It's very sweet. It's like, yay, I miss you, Lilia. And Lilia calling her daughter Aisha a dimwit because she doesn't know how to appreciate her brother's good qualities. And that's kind of funny. And then obviously we see that Aisha knew that Rudius was Rudius the whole time. And then we get into the big 3 episodes for this season, and we see that with the third to last episode, Turning Point 2, which it is definitely a turning point because that's where Rudius nearly dies, like because of the dragon god. What's his name? Yeah, Orsted. And we see that super cool action sequence between the fight against Orsted, and we see Rujerd go absolute ham, and obviously still getting knocked out. And then Eris just getting thrown against a wall. And then we see just how strong Rudius is with his magic. And it's really cool fight sequence and animation. So cool. Mushoku Tensei does fighting animation really well. It's rare when you see it, but when it happens, it is super cool. I love that. And then we get the whole very emotional scene where Eris is like crying because she thinks that Rudius just died, obviously. And then for some reason, I don't think we find out why Orsted decides to heal Rudius, because the woman next to her told him something. We don't know what. yeah, and then they move on from there. The next episode, Rudius makes it back to his home, and he sees that it is just a desolate place. No one's there. The buildings are all destroyed, and Ruger decides that Rudius and Eris are now grown up, and he's going to leave the party and go do. He didn't say what he's going to do. He's just out traveling or something, because obviously Rudius tells Ruger that ever since he shaved his head, the man god said that the fear of soup herds have been like exponentially dying out. So Rudius gave him a lot of hope and so many things, and gave him a new outlook on what the world really can become. And that's great. And we see, it was sad. It was sad to see him go. I really, I'm gonna miss Ruger. And then we move on to Rudius and Eris finding the camp where Ghislaine is. And we finally reunite with Ghislaine. And this part of the story obviously gets very depressing, because Eris finds out that her family is dead, confirmed dead, and Eris needs, or the guy said that like she needs to marry this other guy, because the land needs a ruler now. And obviously Eris is against that. And before Eris decides to run away with Ghislaine, she decides to get it on with Rudius. And obviously when Rudius wakes up, we see a note left by his bed, and her hair is cut and laying on the floor. And Eris and Ghislaine set off to go, I don't know what. They're just out doing something, same as Ruger, I guess. And then Rudius gets into that whole depressed state for like days, where he doesn't leave his bed. And this is one of the most depressing and heartfelt moments in the anime, where Rudius is just completely reflecting on his life. Is it all pointless and shit like that? And then we get the episode that I really like, as it's just showing all the characters that Rudius has met and befriended, and they're all thinking of Rudius. And this is the part where I really did enjoy, because it really showed you what Rudius is capable of. He's not just amazing with magic and shit like that, but he is also great at bringing people together. And it's like that is a great quality to have. And then we see the Demon Lord showing Roxy how the family is doing, and how Rudius is doing, and she finally finds out where Rudius is, and we see he's still depressed, lying in his bed. And then we see that she can't see exactly where Rudius's mother is, and she must be like trapped in some place, who knows. I forget which continent she said his mother was on. We finally see that Rudius finally gets out of his rut and finally sets off to go and look for his last family member, his mom, who might be in the most trouble out of all the family members. I have been enjoying Mushoku Tensei Season 1, Season 2, and Season 2 I enjoyed even more than Season 1. It keeps getting better, honestly. I really like it. I really enjoy how this isekai really is like a true isekai, because he's just completely reborn into a baby and grows up, and we see him grow up in the anime. And this story is just about him making a full life story, like him from a newborn all the way to an adult. And I'm super excited to see where he goes and what he does for the rest of the story coming. Oh yeah, I didn't even talk about like music and stuff. Music is really good. I really love the music. The music is good, the sound design is great, animation's great, characters are really likable. The story's pacing is, I'd say it's pretty good. The comedy is sometimes brash, sometimes make you cringe, but obviously that's its intention. But overall, it's pretty funny as well. So yeah, that's all I had to say and talk about. Can't wait to see more of Rudius's journey. And yeah, be sure to subscribe. I'll see you later.